breaking the law in the United States of America. Listen, our job is to uphold the law. This is a country of laws. We have a border now, and because we have a president that cares.
65% of people taken by ICE have no criminal convictions. 93% have no violent convictions. That was the extent of it, in that you don't really hear all the same questions you hear. What about the red tape? What about the abundance agenda? What about all the legislation? What about the cost? All that kind of stuff. It just happened. It was just like, no, but we want to use this kind of, utility for evil. So for evil, it's not even a question. It's just done. There you have it. It's built. It's built. So we got massive ass concentration camp built in the span of about 8 days. And it's pretty wild how quickly that can happen. Part of fascist governments, from Mussolini to Hitler to what you're seeing in the United States right now is also the propaganda, in that you get the Benny Johnsons of the world and the Laura Loomers and all these right-wing ghouls who are now taking their Charlie Kirk moments to Matt Walsh all over the place and be really, really scary and try to frighten everyone and be like, hey, by the way, just see this is what's coming, this is what we voted for, this is freedom. And it's like, this is concentration camps. We're there. I saw a Holocaust historian who was talking about how a lot of people were like, oh God, this is how it starts. Yeah, he's like, no. In terms of history, if you're at the stage of the concentration camps, you're well within already, I'd say 30 to 40% of the full-blown, dictatorship agenda here. This is not where it begins. I mean, like, you've already gone past the book bannings. You've already gone past the mass arrests of people who've committed no crimes, who happen to be part of a protected, marginalized group. You have already gotten to the point where people are being arrested and jailed for speech, political dissidents. You have gone past the law and order doesn't even exist anymore for the authoritarian. They don't follow the rules of the courts. That part has been skipped as well. You've gotten past the arresting or detaining of political enemies. That part is there. You haven't gone as far as the assassination of political enemies. That one is true. That line has not been crossed yet, but a lot of other lines have already been crossed along the way.
They've introduced Alligator Alcatraz, and we're finally getting our first look inside the new facility. This is a facility they're making as a migrant detainment facility. I don't really know what to say about it, but that's where we're at. Here we go.
Have I seen how much you're going to be funding ICE? 175 billion, I think, is the number in that bullshit bill. That would effectively, outside of the military, make it the largest government agency in the United States, which is really, really horrifying, to say the very least. It's grotesque. I mean, again, I don't know how they're going to pay for it, but apparently that doesn't matter. You're just like, oh yeah, we can do this. The thing about that bill that I find, just angers me to my core, and I'm not even a fucking American, it's just like the principles of human decency, is the idea that it is going to radically increase the U.S. debt, something that apparently Republicans just don't care about when they're in power at all, historically. Because of the amount of tax cuts it's giving to the ultra wealthy. Like, the amount that they are shaving off and basically cutting 17 million Americans off their health care and millions more off their food assistance programs, this is a drop in the bucket versus the amount that they have to take on debt-wise just to be able to give the ultra rich even more breaks at a time when they are doing better than ever before, which again is just so fundamentally grotesque. It's one of the reasons why for the past couple weeks, every single right-wing pundit who's just trying to get this through and passed for the benevolence of their billionaire donor class, they are all pushing this idea that this is actually about keeping America safe, getting rid of the immigrants or giving them other stories that can distract their base, right? Like, obviously, it's horrifying what they're doing to trans people every single day in the United States. And one of the reasons why Donald Trump one day will suddenly reveal a story, hey, I know this is going to really please MAGA. Hey, guess what? We are now going to be rescinding trans athletes awards and trophies. So, you know, Riley Gaines can finally be a, well, no, she's still in 5th place. She doesn't get to actually adjust, but we can strip the trans athletes from their awards, and so any trans athlete that won anything, they are no longer going to be, you know, a recipient historically of their awards. And in the other direction, you know, all of you can celebrate. Well, they're doing all that as a distraction to the MAGA base instead of telling the truth. Charlie Kirk is pushing this idea that the big beautiful bill is actually only about making sure that they can get rid of all the immigrants, giving ICE all the funding it needs to round up all the immigrants so they can save their country. All of this is being done while MAGA is just eating from the trough of, okay, so this was about the immigrants. No, this is the greatest wealth transfer in American history to the ultra wealthy from the working class. And it's going to be just a disaster. We're talking about stuff of which, if you wanted to absolutely like erode an empire and destroy its ability to function in like in the next 10 years, for example, this is what you would do. Like you would be like, hey, by the way, someone should get in there and just give the people who already have everything what's left, and then let everyone at the bottom fight for the scraps. And just if you were to market it that way and say, hey, we're going to take a whole bunch of people off healthcare, we're going to take a whole bunch of people off their food assistance programs, we're going to absolutely devastate the working class, that wouldn't really work. Which again, should have been what Democrats were screaming from the top of the fucking mountains every day. Any chance they had, any camera or microphone that goes in front of them, this is what the fuck they're doing. This is just robbery of the rich to fucking grotesque degrees when they are more rich than they've ever been before. Shame on them. But instead, half of them are like, I don't know how I feel about this Zoran Mamdani, jihad, something, intifada, eats with his hands. I don't know how I feel about that. Apparently, I don't know. He says things about how he doesn't like the Jews, something about that. I don't know, but we should have concerns. I think it's worth discussing right now. What are they doing over there? Look. Jesus Christ, again, the largest wealth transfer from the middle class to the ultra rich in U.S. history is happening right before your eyes, and you are wasting your breath talking about a mayoral election that hasn't taken place yet. He hasn't even won. Like, yes, he won the Democratic primary. He still has to win the general. What are we doing here? Oh, well, no. Here comes Chuck Schumer to the rescue. He's got this, folks. He spent a long time. He did all this heavy work, heavy lifting, but he changed the name. It's no longer called the Big Beautiful Bill. So take that, Republicans. You know, the name that you came up with for something disastrous that's eventually going to be hated by everybody, that whole thing, well, now it's not the name you named it, so it could confuse people into the future. So, Democrats got your back. Yeah, just you wait.
Pretty nice place.
People say there's no toilets, proper bathrooms, and we're worried it will pollute the waters as well. The concentration camps, like, again, this is about maximizing the capacity to put human beings in cages while minimizing their rights and human rights.
Dude, it would suck. Like, you can't jerk off anywhere in here. Like, that would suck, bro. Like, goddamn. Like, everybody has to watch you. Like, fuck. Yeah. I mean, I guess you can.
Yeah, that's what I care about. The gooning. Fuck. Yeah. As the camps are being built, as again, thousands of people are being arrested and detained off the streets, some of whom have committed absolutely no crimes. Innocent people getting detained. Some of them aren't even illegal immigrants. You keep hearing that, oh, they're all illegals. No, they're not, apparently. Some of them just speak in a language that scares the white supremacists in charge. That's enough. But yeah, they're being rounded up. They're being thrown into concentration camps. And now America's building new concentration camps. But the thing to really worry about is, Yeah, that would suck. I agree. Amongst the list of things that are just violations of, again, human decency here, not being able to masturbate is amongst them. Also, the fact that we are planning on imprisoning human beings in smaller and smaller cages, denser and denser areas, in order to what? Fascism?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Damn. That's a nice place.
I'm serious. What about this is nice? Even from a construction perspective, you know, if you're aesthetically well, I mean, it's brand new. I mean, it's nice in that it's going to be able to hold a lot of deplorables. So that part is nice. Yeah, that part is great.
That's what you get, yeah. Rules you have to face the wall. Yeah, is that it? But there's no wall, it's all just a chain link fence. The interview we did on how to avoid the gators. Wait, what? How to avoid gators? Okay, give me a minute. Man. And where's the images here? This is gonna be a horror movie when the gators get in? Yeah, I don't know how they're getting the gators over there or not. So there it is, it's right there.
All a fucking meme. It's going to be unbelievably hot. It's going to be torture. It's going to be being put into a small cage with a bunch of other humans who are desperate and scared in the sweltering heat. As again, yes, you have absolutely no privacy. You have no human rights. You're being stripped of that. You're being forced into these small little concentration camps. And for what? If there are thousands and thousands of people who have been arrested in the United States who've committed absolutely no crime, in what world are you justifying that they have they belong there? Well, I mean, they shouldn't have come to the country in the first place. I mean, come on. The majority of people who immigrate to the United States who are considered now illegal immigrants were legal immigrants whose visas expired. Not to mention, of the people who are being detained by ICE right now, a lot of them were simply legal immigrants and asylum seekers. That makes them legal immigrants. If you're going to revoke their asylum status and suddenly consider them to be illegal simply because, again, they speak another language beyond English, that's profoundly evil, racist, fucked. This is Nazi shit. You are witnessing Nazi shit, and you're memeing about it in the corner. Just being well, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be pretty hard to fucking goon. It doesn't really look like a good goon cave, am I right, boys?
And so where are they? So I guess the alligators are in here. This is the forest. This is the PvP area or the wilderness area.
It's all a game.
Oh man, it's fucking massive. Look at that. Holy shit. God damn.
I don't think he knows that.
There he is. The draft. Yeah, he got drafted.
Honestly, cruelty is the point, right? You've already dehumanized a group to the point where you're willing to enact horrifying things upon them. You're willing to torture them. You're willing to throw them into cages. Human beings with families, mothers, fathers, Jesus Christ. You can't imagine anything more grotesque. And the writer just memeing. You saw the amount of fucking alligator memes that were flooding the internet yesterday. It's based on the name of the place, but also if you look into it, there's a lot of historical racism, specifically towards black people, that have connotations as well. One of the reasons I believe that they're invoking alligators specifically in this case, but it's again one of those things where this to right-wing streamers is all just lol, and it's gonna be one of those things where I don't know how bad it'll have to get and how close to home it's going to have to ring before people suddenly realize that there's really two options going forward here. If your society is rapidly advancing towards fascism, then yeah, you are either the resistance to fascism or you yourself become a fascist. You have to become a Nazi. You have to be a part of the Nazi project, or you have to resist that Nazi project. It'll be one of two options.
It begins, yeah, we gotta import it into Texas gators. Oh man, new federal employee. Yep, that's right, guys. Alligators never stop growing. They only die when they can't eat enough to sustain their size. we can measure success by the size of the alligators. So like if you want the 10-foot big boys, because like you know that they do work, right? Yeah, who's gonna feed them? You know the answer to that.
Well, let's see. Oh, is the implication that it's going to be trans people? Is that it? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Wear your shit like a badge of honor. Stop doing the fucking little, like, you know, kabuki theater of it all and trying to tiptoe around whether or not you want to give, like, nods to Nick Fuentes, admit that you're a full-blown fucking white supremacist or a Nazi at this point, where it's just like, meh, wink. You know, there you go. And yeah, I agree to people saying maybe he said it was nice because, you know, his own living conditions are actually technically worse than that, but that's of his own choice. He gets to choose to do that. He has the freedom to, again, live as a sewage monster, and that's like what he wants to do. He's not being forced to do that against his will.
You know the answer to that. I think that we all know the answer to that.
Hello, everybody. The trip was nice, and the job they've done is fantastic. And this is what...
Just a second, my dad's calling me.
And it's one of those things too where, like, again, the cowards, like, fucking wanting the plausible deniability. If you clip that and you're like, hey, by the way, Asmongold literally is trying to make a joke about feeding, you know, queer people to alligators, you could just have an instant pushback. No. I was saying you know who, and then that just happened to be on screen. They're not related. You're just reading too much into it.
Only state. We've got very red states that should be doing this just as much as Florida's doing. That will increase their numbers. And then what happens is you'll have a lot of people that will deport on their own.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't even feed Asmongold to the alligators because I think it would actually hurt the animals. I think that's animal cruelty. Like, it would kill them.
Because they don't want to end up in an alligator Alcatraz or some of those other...
They're gonna deport on their own because they don't want to end up in alligator Alcatraz. Is that right?
Wait, so
I bet that's true. I do.
She just swallow every inch of the boot, eh? It's sitting there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, people are just gonna self-deport because they don't want to get eaten by alligators at the concentration camps that the fascist is building. It's fucking epic. Look at my country, dog.
I was gonna ask you, would this be enticing for other states to come up with their own model?
They are doing it. We have Louisiana doing it.
Yeah.
Alabama's doing it. We have a lot of states. They seem to be red states. They're moving in blue states for whatever reason. But the red states, Republican-run states, are doing it. The blue states don't do very well at it.
You know what's wild too is that I completely forgot how jarring Ron DeSantis is as a human, and his voice. It's deeply unpleasant, right? Like, at least Trump, you know, disgusting human as he is a performer. And like, can, you know, well, he used to be, not anymore. Now he just sounds like he's, you know, syphilitic and deranged. But back in the day, he used to be able to give a speech. But Ron DeSantis is just such a strange human being. It's like, it's a wonder that he's even risen to the ranks that he has. Obviously, just by being as horrible as possible. Like, he has to be more horrid than his contemporaries, because obviously when he listens to him, it's like, ew, what? That's the sound your voice makes? Jesus.
I would say that exactly right. The governor here has been fantastic in forming this partnership with the Department of Homeland Security. We were looking at different contracts with different vendors and thought, why not go straight to our governors and ask them to help us solve this problem? Florida was
It's pretty loud. It's hard to listen to this. I'll see if I can find some more clips that are a little bit better, okay?
Ready to take off. Hopefully we get some footage of the gators later on. Things have been escalating. I heard that a woman recently got hit in the face, so they're pushing everyone down.
Is that Dom Lucre? The guy got kicked off. Oh, it is. This is the dude who got banned temporarily on Twitter for posting child sexual abuse material that he had watermarked. Like, not only did he have child sexual abuse material on his fucking hard drive, he watermarked it, posted it to fucking Twitter, and then his account got temporarily banned, and then Elon personally unbanned him. Because I guess as long as you support Trump, you can be a pedophile. That seems to be the pass. Oh, super straight, incredibly straight Benny Johnson.
entrance here is a 30-foot tall wall. None of this was here 5
Oh,
years
honey.
ago.
You could get
Got
over
razor
that
wire on
real
the
easy.
top, just unbelievable.
To be fair, you could get
Razor
over
wire
that.
on
what the state of
top.
Florida has done here.
Not on
Over
the
my
bottom.
shoulder is the actual facility. As you can see, we'll be entering soon.
Pop it? No, it's
This
super easy. I've
is
done
the
that one
entry
time.
gate for Alligator Alcatraz.
There's something about pick-me's that, like, or even hidden pick-me's, or, like, you know, closeted homophobes who are, you know, super, super gay, that are just, like, so profoundly evil. Because, like, you know, like, on some level, they also know. They're like, yeah, I mean, like, I wish that I lived in a better world. Where again, you know, the possibility that at one point we could actually be rounding up people like me and throwing them into these camps simply for existing is real. I wish I didn't live in that world, and let alone contribute to it, to make that a possibility. But also money, you know, he tried to make it in BuzzFeed, and apparently the people who worked at BuzzFeed were just like, the guy is basically willing to just, like, you know, mold himself into whatever he thinks is going to be the best lane to make money. That kind of shit. That's always been Benny Johnson. And so the fact that he is like a, you know, a raging closeted homosexual who pretends to be a super straight theater kid, I guess he's got too much bravado, too much naturally. It's constantly, before I even knew about the fact that he was searching for gay cruises on his timeline, I just had suspicions, but it's one of those things you never want to say out loud. But when I would used to watch the old CPAC videos and he would host them, I'd be like, man, you know, if I was to clock a dude, but yeah, I've got no evidence, I'm not going to talk about that. But then of course the gay cruise stuff came out, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Got mosquitoes everywhere. They're like, there you go, look at that. Not a fun place.
Easy bit carpet,
to be put in prison. You do not want to go here. Obviously, this is going to be a 5,000 bed federal.
So yeah, this is all fascistic propaganda. But what's neat about this, unlike, say, you know, the time of pure German Nazism, is that you now have reactandies to the propaganda, to double the propaganda. So if the people weren't getting the propaganda naturally, the people who are watching Asmongold can now see him react to the fascistic propaganda, to be like, oh, okay, this is awesome, right? We're getting a whole bunch of people eaten by alligators. We got alligator memes. Look at that. AI people riding alligators, you know, fascist Barbie doing the fascist shit.
What I would say is, I want all of you to notice these flyers that we've got, is that everybody who sees these flyers or anybody who sees these news clips should know you can still go home on your own.
Yep.
You can self.
It's like Goebbels said of Goebbels. Yeah, exactly. And here's something else. Look at this. Built in just 8 days. And this is all the stats. How many security personnel, how many feet of barbed wire, staff members, 1,000. Just in 8 days. They're really boasting that. Like, look how fast we can do this, and we can accelerate this. And if you like this, then sign on to my big, beautiful bill, because part of that bill, amongst, you know, also giving the ultra wealthy all the money, is going to be building more of these. So again, same, the fascist 101, consolidating for capitalism, securing, again, the ultra wealthy's assets as they move towards a more state-enforced and state-controlled fascistic empire. If you don't believe me, look at some of the moves that Trump's already doing. Did you hear that he's nationalizing U.S. Steel? That's not because he's Comrade Trump. I think it's because he just likes the name U.S. Steel. But that's also something that is done under fascism, right? The extreme wealthy, the people who have the corporations, the companies, they might have to have the oversight of the Nazi party, or in this case, the MAGA party. But hey, at the end of the day, you get to stay super rich and powerful. It's just you have to do so within a fascistic empire. But again, this is the last breath of capitalism, preserving itself, concentrating power into the hands of the very few, while again, everyone else has to sit back. Now, the rebellion to that is going to be whether or not the general American public is willing to tolerate and stomach how horrifying things are getting at such a rapid scale and pace. And it's going to be more and more difficult to actually have an opinion and fight against that, as there are fewer and fewer resources, as people are suddenly more and more desperate, because again, he's passing bills that are going to make the poorest extremely, exceptionally poor, get rid of all the food stamps, get rid of everything, just make people suffer as much as possible on the lower classes of society. And while that is happening, blame the immigrants. Well, this is because we haven't gotten rid of all of them. If we could just accelerate all this, if I can have more power, more money, if I can fund ICE more, if I can build more concentration camps, if I can continue to do this, if we can become more militaristic, we can solve this problem. Like, the solution's on the other end. We just need to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing until we can get there, because they're the ones that are causing this problem. It's not us. It's not capitalism. It has nothing to do with any of that.
Support. If you go on the CBP Home app and go home now, you will get the chance to come back to the United States legally. You will get the chance to come back and do it the right way.
Roach out,
if you don't, you may end up here. And you may end up here and being processed, deported out of this country, and never get the chance to come back. That is the consequences of breaking the law in the United States of America. Listen, our job is to uphold the law. This is a country of laws. We have a border now, and because we have a president that cares and recognizes.
So, super leftist commie publication, the Cato Institute, released this: 65% of people taken by ICE have no criminal convictions. 93% have no violent convictions. The overwhelming majority of people who are being arrested have never committed a crime.
$1,000? Yeah, we're just gonna pay him $1,000 to get the fuck out of here.
So I'm gonna pay you $100 to fuck off.
Hey, how dare you? How dare you invoke Trailer Park Boys, Canadian comedy classic, for these nefarious fascistic purposes? This is disgusting. I can't stand by. I can't even watch it. It's just too much.
The expected spending on this is $450 million to intern 1,000 people. Not a great look for the party of fiscal responsibility.
Well, it's 1,000 people at one period of time. You're going to be cycling through them at a regular basis. So it's like it's a high fixed cost, but like there's a variable cost that gets lower over time.
So when I tell you soulless, loathsome, maggot pieces of shit to get fucked, this is why. This is the side of history that you're...
Open the schools. Also, like, at the end of the day, it's really sad that, like, there's a very large percentage of people watching Asmongold who are like, oh, shit, wow, yeah, the triple digit IQ daddy knows what he's talking about.
Supporting.
Asmonomics, yeah. Asmonomics. Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Joyanne read.
I wonder what it would be like to be like a Holocaust survivor or like a person who had to live through like Nazi oppression. And you have these people that are comparing like your family being systematically exterminated along with the entire ethnic area of that place.
Okay, I don't have time at this moment to look up the totality of Asmongold clips to find this. But at any point, did he ever play a single video of the never-ending barrage of anti-vaxxers who were comparing having to not wash their hands or wear a mask or get a vaccine to fucking the Holocaust on a regular basis, who were actually wearing mock armbands as they were walking through the streets and being like, this is the same thing. We need the Nuremberg 2.0 trials to be able to hold them accountable for how they treated us. I'm not allowed to get my fucking Funyuns and my chips and my dip. I'm not allowed to go into a restaurant. This is the same as the Holocaust. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, all of you are just fucking such clowns. You are being asked to wash your hands and social distance, and that was enough for all of you to invoke a fucking mass slaughter like that. Again, deeply unserious people.
To people being deported for being in a country illegally. Like, I wonder, like, I mean, that must be offensive to them, right? And I feel like that's really kind of, yeah, you're kind of downplaying it a little bit, huh?
I bet anyone with 2 seconds could find a never-ending stream of clips.
Well, that'd be a good idea. 8th Amendment, Asmon? No. Listen, we're not feeding them to the gators. They're just near the gators, and the gators eat them. Yeah, that's all. I gotta end a bit earlier. I've got to take my dad up to a doctor's appointment today. And
alligator bait. Depicting African-American children as alligator bait was a common trope in American popular culture in the 19th and 20th century. The motive was present in a wide array of media, including newspapers, reports, songs, sheet music, and visual art. The image of black children or infants being used as bait to lure alligators was widespread in white popular culture, often appearing in conjunction with other racist tropes. There is no evidence in reliable primary or secondary sources that children of any race were ever used as bait in alligator hunting, so it is impossible to verify whether or not it was a historical reality. In American slang, alligator bait is a racial slur for African Americans. In the American popular imagination, black children were commonly used as bait for hunting alligators, which is one of the central apex predators of the folklore of the United States, along with cougars, bears, and wolves.
Don't let this happen to you. Go to serfscoffee.com to order the only end-to-end owned indigenous coffee company that delivers blood-free, conflict-free, and cruelty-free beans right to your door. 0% of people who drink serfscoffee.com have exploded spontaneously. By ordering right now, you get 10% off plus free shipping, and it's the best way to enjoy delicious coffee while not exploding. That's serfscoffee.com, serfscoffee.com.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This video wouldn't be at all possible without the financial support of all the people whose names you see on the screen right now. And if you want to unlock secret bonus episodes, content that we can't post anywhere else, or get the videos early before anyone else gets to see them, please go on to patreon.com/theserfs. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. Our executive producers are Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Garrett Sandoval, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Boehm, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Tigwick, Trav, and Words Greenwood. And also, it wouldn't be possible without all the names you see on the screen right now. Again, if you want to help produce this content, it's only made possible through the funding of our patrons. Head on down to patreon.com/theserfs